Here we go.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. The stars, Ashton and Fedor. Hey, like your shirt, Ash? Yeah, I like it, man. Cool shirt. All right, hey, thanks for all your help, man. You're always helping, man. All right, man. All right, Joe. Hey, Joe. Election 2022.
2022, man. It's still going. Believe it or not, votes were cast on Tuesday, but it's still going because they're still counting. So they're getting mail-in ballots that are coming in now, and they have until the 15th. They have to be received by the 15th. And so that means they're already in the mail. They'll have to be received, and I think they have to certify the votes, certify the election by the 8th. I think it is December 8th.
December, yeah.
So okay. Crazy stuff happened. We had the last dump this afternoon.
Oh, man.
And here, let's just get into them. So we've got Selma Unified, District 3, which is the one I'm running for. I'm at 304 votes. Lucy Gallardo's at 233, and Isaiah Lopez is at 121.
Man, looks good, but it's not over.
It's not over, man. It's
But
not over. We
it
still,
does look
so
good.
I don't know how many more dumps they have, how many more times they're going to post it.
Yeah, we don't know.
But, so far it's looking good.
Looking good, Ash.
Selma Unified District number 4 is Estea Kessler and Mateo Rodriguez. Estea is at 451 votes. Matthew Rodriguez is at 302.
Oh, yeah. So it looks like Estea has pretty much got that one.
Estea's in the lead.
Congratulations, Mrs. Kessler.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Congratulations to everybody.
Everybody
that ran. It is
Oh,
nerve-wracking.
man.
And
even the mean ones, man.
Yeah, I mean,
even the mean ones. What the hell?
We're still human, you know. It's
Yeah.
nerve-wracking. I've been in there. I've lost twice and maybe 3 times. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but it's so. Thank you for running. Congratulations. You still, even if you didn't prevail in this election, you have still done more than 99% of the people in town. So you have something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's get into city council. So city council's interesting, right?
Fascinating, man.
Okay. So city council, we had district number 2 was John Trujillo and Jose Moreno, right?
Ooh.
So John Trujillo's sitting at 385 and Jose Moreno's at 333.
So that's a 52?
Yeah.
85.
Yeah.
So 52. Wow.
So 52 votes.
Still close.
Separating. Okay, that's in District 2. Now listen to this. District 3 is Sarah Guerra, the incumbent, and Louis Franco. Okay, check this out. Sarah Guerra is at 298. Louis Franco is at 296.
Oh,
that's
man.
2 votes. So you think...
your vote don't count?
You think your vote don't count. It counts.
Wow.
And so we'll see what happens. They still have to bring, they still have to post a couple times.
2 votes.
2 votes.
Oh.
That could be one house, husband and wife. Right?
Man.
2 people that decided they didn't want to vote.
Oh,
whatever.
Or maybe they thought, hey, it's not going to matter. It matters.
Okay, now there's something else we could get into, which is interesting on the stuff that comes out from the county is what's called undervotes.
Oh yeah, most people don't know that.
No, if you go on the website and you look and you can see all this stuff, there's an undervote, and you're like, what is that? Well, that means that's the time that a ballot was cast, but that particular race had no vote. So maybe somebody just saw a particular measure that they wanted or a different race, and they just wanted to vote on that and leave everything else blank or whatever. So the one that Lewis is down by 2 in, there were 50 undervotes. So there were 50 ballots cast where nobody picked anything in that race.
Man.
So that could have gone either direction.
Wow.
Which is really fascinating when you look at it like that.
How could you not?
I mean, if I would imagine if you're going to vote, you're there to vote, but whatever. Okay, the Selma mayoral race. Okay, the Grand Poobah. Here we go. Scott Robertson. He's sitting at 1,219 votes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Louis Quintana is in second with 951. Wow. So he's 268.
268.
Yeah, he's 268 down. That would be a lot. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But it would be a lot to make up in the next dump.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Okay, but hang on. And then you have Teresa Salas down there. She's at 387.
Oh, close to 4. Yeah.
Okay. So here's some notes that I wrote on this as I was going over these things. What's interesting is that if you took Lewis's votes and Teresa's votes, okay? And you add those together, because people that voted for Lewis or Teresa did not want Scott, right? They voted for somebody else.
Somebody else, yes.
Okay, that's 1,338 people. Okay, that's 119 more than Scott got. So that means that 1,338 people did not want Scott. They wanted something else. They wanted change.
So he really, I mean, he won the race, but he didn't really get the majority.
Now here's how he won. Exactly. He won by what's called a plurality. Okay, so a plurality means he got the most votes, but he didn't get a majority of the votes. Okay, so let's say there's 100 votes, and we're all three running for something. You get 33 votes, I get 33 votes, but Ash gets 34.
34.
Okay, that's 100, right?
Yeah.
He wins because he got 34 votes. He didn't get the majority, right? A majority would have been where he gets 51 votes. And we split up the rest, the other 49.
Gotcha.
So he did. So that's what's happening with Scott. He does not have a majority. He has what's called a plurality.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So it's really interesting that there were a lot more people wanted change than wanted Scott.
Wow.
Remember, that's at this particular moment.
Yes, this
because,
moment.
Because we still have votes.
Yeah,
that
they're still
need to
going to
come
be
in.
going out. Wow, that is fascinating. And that's, I bet you most people don't even think like that, dude.
Well, as I start digging into it, it's fun because you start running the numbers and you start.
No, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's really interesting when you look at it like that more people wanted change than wanted what we already have, what we've been running with.
No, yeah, I understand it. So yeah, he got more votes.
Right.
He won.
Right.
Or he's winning.
Well, he's winning at this point.
But yeah, there is more people for change. Wow, that's interesting. That's fascinating.
Now check this out. Remember we talked about the undervotes.
Yeah.
There were at this point 69 of the ballots cast had nothing marked for the mayor. So 69 people didn't even want to participate in a vote.
Wow.
That's interesting. And I wonder why,
that's fascinating.
I wonder why that was.
Why would they even,
Yeah, so that's the mayor race right now. Scott's on top. He wasn't my guy, but
yeah.
And we went over that. Okay, so let's go to Selma Healthcare. That's our last board, right?
Oh man, that's huge.
So we got Selma Healthcare District number 5 was Rosemary Alanis and Yolanda Torres. Right now, Rosemary is at 276. Yolanda is at 235. So Rosemary is 41 votes over Yolanda.
Ooh, wow, that's close. It's still kind of close, but it looks good.
Yeah, no, it's close.
I mean that's a big one too, man. I love Rosemary, man. She's no nonsense.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another interesting one. We have Selma Healthcare District number 1. We had the incumbent Leticia Gallardo at 282, Marina Mares at 196, and Erlinda Martinez at 162. Okay, Leticia's out in front, right? She's handily out in front. But let's look at this plurality thing again versus majority, right? If you add these things together, 358 people basically wanted change, and only 282 wanted to go with the status quo of Leticia.
Wow.
Now, what's interesting is they just couldn't agree on what change they wanted, right?
Yeah.
They had two choices. They had two other choices other than Leticia. So there were 76 more people that didn't want Leticia than did.
Wow, that's fascinating to even think of it like that.
It's really interesting, and you can take that whole majority and plurality thing again and chew on that. So anyways,
but that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it because the way you're presenting it, it does seem like, hey, people did want more change.
They did.
They didn't.
They couldn't agree on what change they
Which
wanted.
one?
Right.
You want Miss Salas or you want Mr. Quintana? You have status quo, Mr. Robertson.
Right.
And the same thing with his other sister-in-law. And then the other sister-in-law, Mrs. Guerra, man, it's only a 2-vote difference.
Well, and if you want to take the whole, if you want to take the majority plurality argument, even in my race.
Oh yeah, how is it in your race?
You can add. I didn't even look at it like that.
So it's going to be the same.
It's going to be the same thing, yeah. So more people voted against the family tree or its suckers, right? Whenever we talked about the little suckers coming off the bottom of the tree.
Yeah.
So more people voted against that than voted for it. It's just they couldn't agree on what else they wanted.
Wow.
So it's a real interesting way to look at an election.
Yeah, because and the reason why you bring up the family tree is because there was basically a member in each
In every
in every race.
Yeah, they were running people in every race.
So yeah, I mean that's why we bring it up. Huh? Well, fascinating. So as
It's
of
not
right
o-
now, it's not over.
it's not over.
Joel's leading.
I'm up.
Kessler's leading by a lot.
She's up. Yeah.
Mr. Robertson's up.
Mr. Robertson. Yep.
And then who? Then it goes down
Trujillo.
here. Oh yeah, Mr. Trujillo. Mrs. Guerra by 2.
2. She is up by 2 votes.
2 votes.
Okay.
And then you go Miss Alanis and then Mrs. Gallardo. Letty Gallardo.
Yes.
Wow. So those are all the guys winning right now. It's still going on. The ones that are up, looks like it's probably going to stick because there isn't many votes. I mean, even the dump that came out tonight wasn't a lot.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a huge dump, not like in the past. I think that has to do with there's not as many precincts anymore, and the way we vote, we can vote so far in advance. It's different than it
So
was.
there is still some mail-ins. I guess they have until the 15th.
Yeah.
To get to the office, the county clerk. But the other fascinating part too is it looks like the one that's going to be right there to the wire is the Franco Guerra.
Holy moly, that's a
2 votes.
That's a nail biter right there, and I could totally see, unless the next couple dumps really make a spread there one way or the other, that's going to go to a recount. I could totally see that going to a recount.
But I don't think there's an automatic recount unless they switch something. There wasn't. If I remember right, Jim Avalos, when he was throwing that little fit when he lost to Mrs. Navarro,
Yep.
he wanted the recount, and if I also remember right, it was going to cost
Right.
10 to 12 grand for the guy who wants it.
But if you remember right, he only wanted the recounts of the undervotes. Remember, he wanted to pick. I think he wanted to pick the under and the
yeah. You
overvotes.
can't just pick little pieces. They
Right.
told him you had to, you had to do the
They
whole
said
thing.
you got to do it all. So
Wow.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot of money. So would Franco be or Guerra, if it's that close, would they be willing to put out that money? Now here's the other thing too. What if let's say it's only 2 votes.
right.
Mrs. Guerra hangs on and wins by 2 votes. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Mr. Franco now wants to challenge it, and he gets an attorney, and now it goes to court. Should Mrs. Guerra pay out of her own pocket like they were talking about Mrs. Navarro doing?
Wow.
Or should she pay? It costs, I think, at that time, didn't it cost almost over 40 grand?
That is a phenomenal question.
Wow.
That
would
is-
Mrs. Garrett would Mrs. Garrett think she should?
You
should
heard.
the
Hey,
city
you heard
pay?
that question here first. Wow.
Should Mrs. Guerra pay it, or should the city defend the seat? Now, I'll give you my take. Back then, they were pounding on Mrs. Navarro.
Right.
You need to pay. You should step out of it. And as a matter of fact, I'll have to go back and check. Something was commented at this last board
Just
meeting
made reference to
by
that.
the
Yep.
mayor's wife again,
Yep.
referencing that. So in that scenario,
Wow.
Mr. Franco should challenge it, and Mrs. Guerra, you're gonna pay. And if it comes out to 40 grand, you should pay that. That's what you guys have been pretty much pounding it the other way.
Wow.
On Mrs. Navarro. Now it's your turn. How about if it's your turn now? Are you gonna want to pay that, or do you think the city should pay it and defend the seat?
Holy.
Remember, that's the
moly.
argument. I actually think the city needs to defend the seat,
I agree.
but that's not what they've been doing. And
But
not
it's
the-
funny
what
'cause
they've been
they'll-
talking about.
They'll demonize somebody for being protected by the city, but I wonder if they'll then take advantage of being protected by the city.
Oh yeah. So
Wow.
so in that scenario, if it's close, she wins. Mr. Franco says, "Hey, look, it's 2. I want a recount, and I'm going to take it to court." Now, who's going to defend Mrs. Guerra? It's
can't-
gonna. I mean, or where's the money going to come from?
Right, right.
Is
You
it
can't
coming out
drop
of-
stuff like that on the video for the first time. We're going to talk about that before. That's wild, dude. That is.
It's fast. I just popped into my mind, dude. That's fascinating.
That's a good question.
You guys thought Blanca should pay? How about you?
Wow. We'll see how consistent they are.
Yep. Let's say that happens. I hope Mr. Franco takes it to court.
Wow.
Let's see. Let's see what you would actually do. Should you spend your own money? Wow. That's what you said, Mrs. Navarro. That's what you guys were basically saying.
Holy
Basically
moly.
saying.
We'll see what happens. We got more votes coming up.
Yep. And then what's the natural assumption? If that's good for one, it's good for all. It's good for them all.
Hey, you know what? Thank you to everybody who
Everybody.
ran. Thank you to everybody who has been on a board or something,
I know.
or a council or whatever.
Yeah, that wants to do it.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who voted.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's crazy. I know you've been, I don't want to say stressed out, but you've probably been excited.
I think stressed out would be fair, yeah.
It just keeps going and going and going, man.
Going.
And Ash, what do you think, man? Hey, Ashton, man, you like your shirt? Huh? Are you happy Joe's going to win? Yeah, I mean, we think he's going to win.
We hope.
We hope. We hope. Anyway, fascinating talk.
Night, Selma.
All right, good night, Selma.